Let's bring in Pete Hegseth, Fox and Friends weekend co-host, and Andy McCarthy, former federal prosecutor and Fox News contributor. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. You think about the storming of the fence in El Paso. You think about Laken Riley, who was killed by a Venezuelan who was here illegally. You think about these poor people living in their homes in the Bronx. A tough neighborhood, but they shouldn't be subjected, Andy McCarthy, to people swinging guns around in front of the public school on their block. Why can nothing be done? And why couldn't they do anything originally, and now they went in and got them?
Yeah, Martha, I grew up in the Bronx, so it pains me to say this, but the reason they can't do things is because of politicians the people who have voted for, who have put in these terrible policies on bail reform and sanctuary cities. I think part of the confusion here, if it is confusion, is that there's two different cases going on. When we say that New York is a sanctuary city, that doesn't mean the feds can't go in and enforce federal law. What it means is that New York state authorities and the city police can't, even though the cops would like to help them, they can't help them because New York since 2014 has had this legal status as a sanctuary city. But I take it that what happened here is that after the state released these guys under their ridiculous bail provisions, the feds have come in and started to make a federal case, which probably involves both immigration violations and drug and gun violations.
So as you pointed out, Andy, in your piece, New York is the only state in the United States that does not permit judges to detain defendants pre-trial based on a finding of dangerousness to the community, because clearly there's a danger here. There's guns, there's drugs, and they're right across the street from a school. God help this child, the 7-year-old. We don't know anything about who this child is. Pete, when you watch this play out here on the streets of New York, and we've seen it in a lot of cities, actually, what goes through your mind today?
It doesn't feel real. Doesn't feel like this could actually be the United States of America. Nothing about crossing the border they did was legal. Nothing about being in the house they did was legal. Nothing about having the guns and drugs they had was legal. Yet our legal system, so-called in New York, just releases them and then isn't willing to cooperate with the federal government. The judge and the DA could have tried to set bail here. Andy knows the legal part better than me, but from what I understand, they could have. But they don't try to because it's almost never honored, even though if anyone had their name written down to be a flight risk, it's these guys. They're gonna want to be gone. And with the guns, you've got a danger aspect to it too. We're a fundamentally unserious country. At least New York and New York City, fundamentally unserious. We don't enforce our laws. We don't stand by our tax-paying members, whether it's the house they own. I didn't even realize this is across the street from elementary school.
Yes.
We let that happen?
I think
How's
it's
that not another charge? Guns near a school. You got a charge on a charge on a charge on a charge.
100%.
They should be gone, deported yesterday.
I mean, the only people who seem to have absolutely no rights are the people who live on the block and the kids who go to this school. They have no right to a safe education, no right to a safe place to live in New York. And these people, until this apprehension, which we hope sticks, these people had all the rights in the world. You can come into the country, you can live in a place for free, you can take it from someone else who might own it. It's absolutely unfathomable. I think Pete, you put it exactly right. What country are we living in? Watch this exchange with Peter Doocy earlier today in the White House briefing room. Watch.
There's this story in New York, an 8-person crew of border crossers found with drugs and guns. 6 of them now are out on bail. Does President Biden think policies like that are making the country safer?
That anyone found guilty of a crime should be held accountable. We have been very, very clear about that.
Do you guys think that some big cities in this country have liberal DAs that are too soft on crime?
We welcome local law enforcement support and cooperation in apprehending and removing individuals in this country who pose a risk to our national security or also public safety.
Andy, what do you think?
Biden's own party is the one that pushes these sanctuary cities. And to Pete's point, listen to the math that we just heard, right? There's 8 defendants, 6 of them got out, which means it was possible to hold people on these charges. They just chose not to do it. And it's not just a case of there's no dangerousness finding. If you're an illegal alien, by definition, you don't have enough ties to the country, so you should be a bail risk for flight. Yes. And yet they released 6 of these 8 guys. It's just ridiculous.
It is unbelievable. I mean, at the very least, if you cross the border illegally and you steal a pack of gum, I mean, if you break the social contract, you're already on tenuous ground, or you should be, if you're here without a right to be here. And we're going to talk in a minute about another whole story that's just going to blow people's minds of how many people are being flown in or even flying in on their own dime, but they don't have any papers to be here in some cases. So, Andy McCarthy, thank you very much. Pete Hegseth, thank you as well. Great to have you both here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In the soft embrace of morning light, rocky and rugged, hopefully sight, a whisper of promise, a sense so sweet, reviving energy with every heartbeat. Oh yeah, stumbling down the stairs with grace, favorite mug and cherished embrace. Each sip, a dance of enchantment, caffeine's elixir, a daily enchantment. Ooh, yeah. Coffee in the morning, my lifeline. Guiding through life's chaotic design, finding every sip of morning zest. In that brew, I find my best. The morning sun, a gentle caress, bathing the world in warmth no less. A symphony of flavors in every pore, awakening senses, a ritual to adore. The kitchen hums a quiet tune as dreams unfold not too soon. Pouring the elixir, stories take flight. In the world of coffee, my spirit aligns. A mug cradled, a vessel of tales. Each sip, a dialogue as morning unveils. Bitterness, a new world of tales. As the day unfolds, a caffeinated tale in morning symphony where moments prevail. Coffee, my companion in the sunrise quest, in the ritual of morning, my eternal zest. The world awakens, a canvas so bright, in the palette of dawn, a captivating sight. A dance of flavors, a morning trance. In the world of coffee, life's sweet romance.